Hey Danish tubers, and welcome back to part 3 of this daily necessary Danish phrases. Here we go. DanishTube. So in this one it's gonna be all about language. So saying stuff, repeating stuff, asking about the meanings, pronunciation, spelling, and all that kind of stuff. Let's do it. I understand a bit of Danish. Jeg forstår lidt dansk. Jeg forstår lidt dansk. I actually understand a lot. Jeg forstår faktisk meget. Jeg forstår faktisk meget. I understand more than I speak. Jeg forstår mere end jeg taler. Jeg forstår mere end jeg taler. Anytime you're comparing two things, this is more than this is better than this, the word in is the one you want. Jeg forstår meget, men det er svært at producere sproget. I understand a lot, but it's hard to produce the language. Jeg forstår meget, men det er svært at producere sproget. Jeg forstår meget, men det er svært at producere sproget. I understand you. That could be like, I understand sort of you as a person, like what you mean, what you're going through, but it can also just mean the words that you're saying. Kind of depends on your tone of voice, I guess, right? Jeg forstår dig. Jeg forstår dig. Jeg forstår dig. I understand what you mean. Jeg forstår godt, hvad du mener. Jeg forstår godt, hvad du mener. I understand what you're saying. Jeg forstår, hvad du siger. Jeg forstår, hvad du siger. I don't understand. Jeg forstår ikke. Jeg forstår ikke. I don't understand that at all. Det forstår jeg slet ikke. Det forstår jeg slet ikke. So slet and ikke go together to mean not at all. That's understandable. Det er forståeligt. Det er forståeligt. Again, that could be about a situation, about something that somebody's doing, wants to do, something that somebody feels, or it could be something literally about the language. Next word is forklare. Explain, to explain. Can you explain it? Can you explain the word? Kan du forklare det? Kan du forklare ordet? Kan du forklare det? Kan du forklare ordet? I forgot the word. I cannot explain it. Jeg kan ikke forklare det. Jeg kan ikke forklare det. Jeg kan ikke forklare det. It's difficult to explain. So often when you're talking about a subject and it's a bit hard to explain the language, or it could be in terms of the language, but it could also just be in terms of the topic, the thing you're trying to talk about, right? Det er svært at forklare. Det er svært at forklare. I'll try to explain it. Jeg skal nok prøve at forklare det. Jeg skal nok prøve at forklare det. Do you have an explanation for that? Do you have an explanation for that? Har du en forklaring på det? Har du en forklaring på det? I guess that could be about a word or about something that's going on or whatever. Next one, at sige, to say. Don't get confused with at se and sige. One is a shorter sound and a longer sound. So it's or se, to see or to watch, or sige, to say. What are you saying? Hvad siger du? Hvad siger du? The most common expression ever in Denmark. You probably heard all Danish people say, hvad siger du? Hvad siger du? Hvad siger du? One of the most useful things. In the past tense, basically means the same. What did you say? What said you? Hvad sagde du? Hvad sagde du? Or just simply, what? Hvad? Hvad? Hvad often gets cut to hvad? 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 I use what when I'm like, what? You know, when I'm questioning like, what's going on? Hvad? Hvad? Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Undskyld, jeg hørte ikke, hvad du sagde. Undskyld, jeg hørte ikke, hvad du sagde. The great things about these expressions or phrases or words or sentences, whatever they are, is that often we maybe don't understand, don't hear something, and we automatically like freeze and start speaking English or think that we're not good at the language or whatever. But always remember that sometimes in your own language you don't hear what somebody says, right? You're just like, what did you say? And the same thing applies. Sometimes if you ask somebody, you know, what did you say, or what are you saying, or something like that, they will repeat it and then you get it the second time. So, genius. What did you just say? Hvad sagde du lige? Hvad sagde du lige? That one's a little bit more, you know, like, did you really just say that? Hvad sagde du lige? Did you say that? Sagde du at? Sagde du at? You didn't say that. Or like, you're not saying that, are you? You're not saying that, really. Det siger du ikke. Det siger du ikke. Didn't you say that? Har du ikke sagt at? Har du ikke sagt at? And the next to last one, det siger du ikke. It's kind of like when you don't believe what somebody's saying and you want them to, you know, confirm maybe. Almost like, det mener du ikke. You don't mean it, right? Please tell me you don't mean it. Okay, next one is gentage, repeat, gentage. The word gen means again. So often they translate to English words that start with like repeat, reload, whatever, recycle. Gentage, retake. Can you repeat that? Kan du gentage? Brackets, det. Kan du gentage? Kan du gentage det? You don't need the word det when you just say like, can you repeat that? You know, like when you didn't hear what somebody said. Kan du gentage? But maybe if you're being specific about a line that somebody's reading out or a question that they asked or they're reading out in a quiz, for example, then you might add the word det. Kan du gentage det? Gider du at gentage is like being a little bit more polite. Would you mind repeating it? Gider du at gentage? And hopefully they're going to say, yes, selvfølgelig, yes, of course. If they're a bit evil, like I can be sometimes, maybe they might say, nej, det gider jeg ikke. I don't want it. Vil du ikke lige gentage? Would you just repeat that, or wouldn't you just repeat that? Again, it's another kind of polite way to ask, would you repeat it? Vil du ikke lige gentage? Vil du ikke lige gentage? A nice way of saying it would be like, I didn't get that. I didn't get it. What did you say? Det fik jeg ikke. Det fik jeg ikke. So you can combine it with hvad sagde du, that we had from the last sort of group. Det fik jeg ikke. Hvad sagde du? When you get some of what somebody says, but not all of it, you kind of like say, you know, I didn't get everything. Jeg fik ikke det hele med. Jeg fik ikke det hele med. A great one is one more time or come again. En gang til. En gang til. Okay, so now we have a little bit about speaking slowly, about writing, spelling, and pronunciation. Here we go. Would you be sweet to speak slowly? It sounds weird, right? It's a polite way of asking, please, be kind to me, speak slowly. Vil du være sød og tale langsomt? Vil du være sød og tale langsomt? You know, right? There's no way to say please, so you have to ask in sort of different ways in this. Vil du være sød og, You can replace the ending with any verb, anything you want somebody to do. So here we have tal langsomt. It could be close the door, vil du være sød og lukke døren, vil du være sød og hold kæft, would you be sweet and shut up? Anything you like, depends. Could you maybe speak slower? Kunne du måske tale lidt langsommere? Kunne du måske tale lidt langsommere? So here we've had langsomt, langsommere. So now we have the adjective conjugations of slow, langsom, langsommere, slower. How about when you want to tell somebody, I'm still kind of learning Danish, I'm still in the process of doing it. Jeg er stadig i gang med at lære dansk. Jeg er stadig i gang med at lære dansk. So this i gang is when you are in the process of something. So that could be anything like right now you call me, what are you up to? Jeg er i gang med blah 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 blah. I'm like currently in the process of cleaning up my room, cleaning out my drawers, I don't know, picking my nose, whatever it is. Jeg er i gang med at pille næsen. Weird example, but you get what I mean. I've just got started with the language. Another way to use i gang. Så jeg er lige kommet i gang med sproget. Jeg er lige kommet i gang med sproget. A nice one next is like, what would it be? Lower the speed, set down the speed, please. Sæt farten lige ned. It's almost like a bit, not sarcastic, but a bit of a funny way to ask somebody to do it. And farten is speed, the speed, not a fart. I did make a, what is it called? A short video of false friends. You can probably see it here. Okay, now we're on to some words. Can you write it down? Kan du skrive det ned? Kan du skrive det ned? How do you write it? Hvordan skriver man det? Hvordan skriver man det? Another way would be, how do you spell it rather than write it? Arguably more correct, right? Hvordan staver man det? Hvordan staver man det? Two things here. When you're asking questions, you often, notice in this question you have the question word how, and then you have the verb next. So in English you might be like, how do you write it? So how do you, coming before, sort of the subject, if you like, coming before the verb. In Danish you have, how write you it, or one in this case. How write one it? Hvordan skriver man det? Hvordan staver man det? Hvordan, whatever, it'd always be like that. And also a little pronunciation thing with the word skriver or staver. Notice the V's are not v, but w. Skriver, staver. Skriver or staver. You could say it. I mean, it's not incorrect. Some people will say it like that. But in general, a lot of the V's are like W's. As with the next word, how is the spelling? Sort of, what is the spelling? Hvordan er stavningen? Hvordan er stavningen? Nice, then we're on to pronunciation, the classic thing about Danish language, right? Udtale. How do you pronounce this word? Hvordan udtaler man dette ord? Hvordan udtaler man dette ord? You might want to add in the hell, like, how the hell do you pronounce this word? Hvordan fanden udtaler man dette ord? Or maybe even better say, i helvede. Hvordan i helvede udtaler man dette ord? Sådan. How is the pronunciation? Hvordan er udtalen? Hvordan er udtalen? Can you pronounce this word? Kan du udtale dette ord? Kan du udtale dette ord? Would you read it up for me? Or like, would you read it out loud? Vil du læse det op for mig? Vil du læse det op for mig? I have difficulty with the pronunciation of. Jeg har svært ved udtalen af. Or if it could be like the R, for example. Æret. Deal. The D. Jeg har svært ved udtalen af deal. Another way to ask, how do you pronounce this word, would be with the passive form of the verb with an S. How is this word pronounced? Hvordan skal dette ord udtales? Hvordan skal dette ord udtales? The next part is a little bit about trying to get people to stay in Danish. One of the most common things I hear is Danes always switch to English. And well, you need to be the one to say, whoa, stay in Danish. You can speak Danish to me. Du må gerne tale dansk til mig. Du må gerne tale dansk til mig. Or I må gerne tale dansk til mig. If it's you, plural people. Jeg taler jo dansk. Or jeg taler jo lidt dansk. It's almost the way of saying like, I speak a bit of Danish, so why speak in English kind of thing, you know? Jeg taler lidt dansk. Jeg taler jo dansk. Let's do it in Danish, or let's take it in Danish. Lad os tage det på dansk. Lad os tage det på dansk. Shouldn't we take a trip in Danish? Shouldn't we take a trip in English? Kind of a funny way to say, let's switch, or let's go over to Danish English. Skal vi ikke tage en tur på dansk? På engelsk. Skal vi tage en tur på dansk? På engelsk. I wanna try in Danish. Jeg vil prøve på dansk. Jeg vil prøve på dansk. Can we continue in Danish? Kan vi fortsætte på dansk? Kan vi fortsætte på dansk? You can correct me while we speak. Du må meget gerne rette mig, mens vi taler. Du må meget gerne rette mig, mens vi taler. I would appreciate it. Jeg ville sætte pris på det. Jeg ville sætte pris på det. Nice. Amazing sentences here. The last group is a little bit more about asking about how to say something. So you see an object, you have a word in English or another language, whatever it is. You want to ask, how do I say this in Danish? So, how do you say this? How do you say insert word in Danish? Hvordan siger man på dansk? Hvordan siger man på dansk? It could be, I have a mouse here. Hvordan siger man en mouse på dansk? En mus. Hvad er ordet for? Another way of asking is, what is the word for in Danish? Hvad er ordet for a mouse? Or hvad er ordet for mouse på dansk? Nice. A very common way that I would use is, what is it called in Danish? Hvad hedder mouse på dansk? Hvad hedder på dansk? Often you might have something in your hand here, a remote, in fjernbetjent, or you might just say like, hvad hedder denne på dansk? What is this called in Danish? Hvad hedder denne på dansk, or dette på dansk? I'm not going to go into detail of denne and dette, but they both mean this. Hvad hedder den her? Hvad hedder den der på dansk? Okay, another one. You could just say, den her. Hvad hedder den her på dansk? What is this called in Danish? Or if something is over there, behind the camera. Hvad hedder den der på dansk? What is that over there in Danish? Maybe someone you're talking to like said a word that you didn't quite hear or catch, and you want to know specifically what that word was. You might try and figure it out by asking, hvad var det ord, du lige brugte? Hvad var det ord, du lige brugte? Of course, then you're going to have that funny thing of the person going, oh, what was that word I was trying to say? Was it this one or this one, this one? And you find your way to it, but that sort of gets the thing going. What does it mean? Hvad betyder det? Hvad betyder det? What does it mean? That can be a bit more abstract about a situation. What does that mean then? Or, a word. Hvad betyder det? You give me a word in Danish, I don't know, stol. Hvad betyder det? Altså, stol. Hvad betyder det på engelsk? What does it mean in English? Another way of asking, what is that called in English, I guess, Hvad betyder det på engelsk? What is that word? Hvad er det for et ord? Hvad er det for et ord? I love this one because you can replace it or with anything else when you're like a bit confused of, what the hell is that kind of thing. So somebody pulls up in a really shitty car. You're like, what kind of car is that? Hvad er det for en bil? Hvad er det for en bil? Okay, translation. Can you translate it for me? Kan du oversætte det for mig? Kan du oversætte det for mig? And then some things, a few more here with meaning, like, what do you mean? Hvad mener du? We had one at the start with like, I don't understand what you mean. So you could also, when you don't understand what somebody's saying, again, could be the language, could just be the idea, the concept they're trying to get across to you. Hvad mener du? Hvad mener du? Or hvad mener du med det? What do you mean by that? Hvad mener du med det? Going on to a little bit about opinion here, what is your meaning? What is your opinion? Sorry. Hvad din mening? Hvad er din mening? Min mening at, my opinion is that, min mening at, last few here are all different ways to say, like, in my opinion, if you ask me, and all this kind of stuff. First one is, in my opinion, efter min mening. Efter min mening. If you ask me, hvis du spørger mig. Hvis du spørger mig. To be honest, for at være ærlig. For at være ærlig. If I have to be honest, hvis jeg nu skal være ærlig. Hvis jeg nu skal være ærlig. And to say it like it is, for at sige det, som det er. For at sige det, som det er. Then you continue. That brings us to the end of this language-inspired daily necessary Danish phrases based on language. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give a like. Leave a comment below if there's any specific topics that you would like me to cover. If you like the content in this video, you can donate any amount that you think is equal to the information you received. You can go over to PayPal, you can buy me a coffee, you can support me on Patreon, you can do any of those things to make it possible for me to travel home in July, which right now I cannot do because the prices for planes are incredible. Help me out if you can, it means a lot. Otherwise, see you in the next video. Hej hej. Danish.